Hey everybody, and welcome to Meals with Melissa, where we have healthier options to things that you love to eat. Now today we are making sugar-free avocado fudge-sickles. Now I know that sounds very strange, like why are we using avocado? Well, honestly, it's because it's a healthier version of things. It gives you some healthy fats, it's got some vitamins in it, and it makes this really super creamy and easy and fun. So what we're gonna do today, now you don't have to use a food processor, but you know, I like a food processor. I own a couple of them at this point. And I'm using my smaller one this morning just because I am making a half batch. Now, a couple of tips I will give you right from the get-go because I have already practiced this one. I had to taste it, you know, I love chocolate, and it is almost summer. So I wanted something that was an easy, fun treat that went with the weather that's coming up. So my tip to you is get some silicone molds, because I tried with just what we had on hand, which was regular plastic popsicle molds. And while it does give it the shape, it's really hard to get it out of the mold. So the actual product itself is great, but I highly recommend that you either hop on Amazon or find a place to order some silicone molds. Okay, so super easy. Again, I'm gonna half recipe it, and I swapped out something from the original recipe. Originally it did contain maple syrup. Now I know people are thinking, well, but that's a natural form of sugar. Still sugar. Your body still treats it as sugar. It doesn't matter what type of sugar it is. For some odd reason, yes, I'm gonna say that's probably a better option than pure refined sugar, but it's still sugar, and your body will treat it as such. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I've already peeled an avocado. I'm using one. I'm gonna throw that in there, and to that I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. Now I'm just using a tablespoon, actually it's a 2 tablespoon measure, just because it's easier to get it out of my bag. So a 1/4 cup is 4 tablespoons. Super simple, right? All right, so to that, I'm gonna throw that in the processor with that. And then I'm gonna add, for some reason I can't get the bag open now, and to that I'm gonna add some vanilla bean paste. Now, I know that that's not something that everybody has on hand. I happen to just have had some from a recipe I did probably about a year ago, which is kind of funny, but I didn't use it all. So, if you don't have vanilla bean paste, you absolutely can use vanilla extract. It's just 1 to 1. So, to that I'm going to add a half a tablespoon, or excuse me, a half a teaspoon, that would be a lot, a half a teaspoon of some vanilla bean paste that I have on hand. I tend to just find a lot of stuff either at my local health food store. Sometimes I do order on Amazon, just because it makes it super simple. They ship it to my house, although I'm not super happy with Amazon right now, so that's a whole other ballgame. But I'm gonna put that in my food processor as well. Add that to it, super simple. I'm actually gonna get out a rubber scraper just to make sure I can get all of that into my batch here. Okay, and then to that I'm actually gonna add a little bit of, now I'm gonna use stevia glycerite. So instead of the maple syrup, I'm gonna use stevia glycerite. Now it's a little bit thicker than liquid stevia, so that's why I like it, because again, kind of more the texture of maple syrup. Now, it's not 1 to 1. So although it calls for, I believe, like a 1/4 cup of maple syrup, that is not what I'm using of the glycerite. You don't need quite as much because the sweetness is a lot more intense. So you kind of are gonna have to do it a little more to taste. So I'm gonna say probably a good tablespoon and a half, but you don't need a full half a cup or a 1/4 of a cup. Okay, so to that I'm going to add a half a cup of nut milk. Now, it called for cashew milk. I have almond milk. That's what's at my house. It's unsweetened almond milk at my house at all times because we use a lot of it. Use it as my coffee creamer. Now, I'm actually gonna slowly pour that in because I want the texture to be about right. So I'm gonna pour a little bit of that in and start blending it with my food processor. There we go, just a little bit, and that way, if it's still too thick, I will add a little bit more. So we're gonna blend that. Again, notice how simple this is. There we go. Yeah, definitely had to add some more. And the great thing is too, if, you know, before you stick it in your molds, taste it. And if it's not sweet enough, you can add a little more of the liquid stevia or the stevia glycerite. All right, so we're gonna blend that up. Might have to add just a little more. And for some reason this time around, my avocado is not mixing as quickly and as easily as it did last time, but that's okay. It will get there. So I'm gonna throw just a little bit more of the almond milk in there. Just because it has to at least be a spoonable consistency so I can get it into the mold. simple. I am gonna scrape down the sides just to make sure it is getting all incorporated. Might need to add just a smidgen more of the almond milk. The great thing is, again, you can just eyeball it to the consistency that you like. It almost makes it kind of like, it is definitely a fudge pop. It's definitely creamier than a popsicle. So it's a really great treat. It's got the healthy fats in it. It should keep you satiated. Satiated. Wow, it's definitely Saturday morning. It should keep you satiated because those healthy fats, that's what they're good for. So finish moving that around. I'm gonna scrape down the sides one more time. Now, I'm actually just gonna put this in the fridge for a bit until I'm able to get all of the ones that I did beforehand out of the mold. I used a smaller mold, and it filled 5 of them. So again, maybe just make a smaller batch, and that way, or if you get 2 sets of molds, then you have no problem with getting enough out of it. So actually, that actually looks pretty good. All right, I'm gonna taste a little bit. Actually, that's about perfect. Okay, good. Yum, super great. It tastes a little bit like pudding, so if you have to eat it with a spoon as is, it's not a bad option. So you're gonna put those in there, and you're gonna freeze them for about 2 to 4 hours, and then run some hot water over those silicone molds. Again, I highly recommend you use silicone because the plastic is just not, I tried to use some hot water on it, didn't really work out so great. So I just ended up getting it all out and eating it with a spoon, which is okay too. So hopefully they give you some great options, some healthier versions of things that you might love to eat now that the weather is turning beautiful and it's great outside. So have an incredible weekend, you guys. And that is Meals with Melissa. Have a good one.